I would like to shout out Craig J for sending me this story. And this story is coming from across the pond. Well, not really that far across the pond. We're going more south, more southern than the border as far as past Mexico, more so going into Latin America. And this story right here was so brutal and so savage that when I started to read a little bit about it, I could not ignore it. Like this has to be one of the most brutal stories you will hear from me this year. So in this picture, you can see this is actually a young girl. She looks a little bit older than what she is, but she's 13 years of age, and she did something so savage to her own sister. You would think that this came out of an episode of Snapped or a Lifetime movie. So basically what this girl did, she basically cut the womb open of her own sister who was pregnant to give the child to this random family or this woman because she wanted to get married to this guy. It's a really weird story. I'm gonna read the article so it can make a little bit more sense, or at least try to make some sense. But that's just the basis of it right there. So instead of me trying to explain it some more and get something wrong, I'm gonna go ahead and read the article. It says a 13-year-old girl is accused of murdering her pregnant 23-year-old sister so she could give the baby to another woman. Police say that the twisted plot was organized by 35-year-old Katia Rebello and her 15-year-old son. Rebello had been faking a pregnancy and needed a baby so her gold prospector boyfriend would marry her. The young girl, who police have not identified, struck her sister in the head with a metal pole and then cut her unborn baby from her womb. When the girl's 7-year-old nephew tried to intervene and save his mother, she drowned him in a nearby lake. This is crazy already. And this girl right here in this picture is the one who did that. This is a crime that has shocked even the most seasoned police officers because there is evidence it was premeditated. The teenage suspect has admitted to killing her sister and her 7-year-old nephew and told us that she threw Gustavo, who couldn't swim, into the nearby lake, then stoned him until he drowned. Rebello's son and the young girl then buried the body in a shallow grave, where it was discovered 3 days later. The 13-year-old girl told police she murdered her sister because she had been sexually abused at the hands of her husband. The girl made a separate claim that she committed the crimes out of revenge because she was sexually abused by her sister's husband and ill-treated by Fabiana, who didn't believe her stories, and I'm guessing that was her sister. Authorities found the newborn at Rebello's house in the care of her son. The infant was taken to the hospital and is listed in good condition. Both teens were taken into custody and charged with double homicide. It is unclear what charges Rebello is facing. They need to give her the max penalty, because at the end of the day, that was her plan. And she could have easily said that those teens, the 15-year-old and the 13-year-old who you can see right here in this picture, could easily say that they were brainwashed into doing this. After all, they were minors. So basically, this 35-year-old woman wanted a baby so bad because she lied to the boyfriend. They said it was a gold prospector, which sounds to me like he came from some money. And in order to get married, she basically lied. She put herself in a predicament where she knew she messed up by lying and saying she was pregnant. So she was willing to do anything for a child and went to this girl whose sister was pregnant, and she knocked her out and cut the baby from her womb, killing her, and then killed the nephew when the nephew tried to stop her from killing her own mother, his mother. And then she stoned him and then threw his body, stoned him, watched him drown, and then threw his body in a shallow grave. This, like I said, I'm going to post a link to this story right here in case y'all don't believe me, because I highly doubt that this will pick up anywhere in any type of U.S. journalism because of where it happened at. But like I said, I saw this and could not not speak on it, because this is one of the most brutal, savage stories I've heard in a while. But it's not so surprising, because when you hear stories that come out of those countries, you think that American crime is something. They take the cake on savagery. I will never forget one time I saw a video, and this is something I can't even unsee. I can't even get it out of my brain. It was a couple years ago, and I think the video may have one time been on YouTube. That's before YouTube really cracked down on censorship. And when I say years ago, I'm talking about, I think I was probably in college. So that was a while ago, where you had this woman literally dragged in the road, and this guy grabbed a machete and literally on camera sliced her head off. Some of you may know what video I'm talking about. And I think it happened in Mexico, or it may have happened somewhere on the continent of South America where this crime happened. Let me tell you, when it comes to them, the machete is like their gun. That is their go-to weapon. Now, whatever punishment these teens face, and hopefully that 35-year-old thought faces, is going to be brutal. But the 35-year-old should definitely get the brunt force of it, because she was the mastermind behind the entire thing. But the teens should definitely face punishment as well, because at the end of the day, she killed her sister. She stole a child from her sister's womb and killed her nephew, which was her sister's son. And then the 15-year-old, who was the mother's son, who orchestrated the plan, he helped bury the body of the boy, of the nephew. So he definitely faces crimes as well. So there are no victims in this except for the sister and the nephew. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. I'm very intrigued to hear what y'all have to say about this, because this story right here is goddamn.